Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to start a new category, to discuss today's issues and, give relationship advice, things like that. I just think it was a long time coming, and I finally decided to just go ahead and do it. So, um, I won't be pumping out those types of videos as frequent as my gaming videos, but from time to time, when I feel like I need to make a video, you'll see one. So, um, anyway, today is I'm gonna dive right into the first issue, and it's whether or not it's okay to hit a female. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on World Star Hip Hop and right here on YouTube of situations where a female was assaulted. Some were justified, and some I feel were excessive and not necessary. But nonetheless, it is an issue, and there are a lot of people who feel one way or the other about it. So I'm just going to kind of break down how I feel about it, and I want to get your opinion after the video. But growing up in a house full of women, I grew up having a natural respect for women and wanting to help them, not hurt them in any kind of way, and not wanting to see anybody else do the same thing, to a female. So coming from where I come from, nobody would think that there would be any excuse to put their hands on a female. And under normal circumstances, I agree with that. But today's female and yesterday's female seem to be like night and day. And here's why. Yesterday's female, if they had a problem with someone, they might yell or whatever, but they pretty much talk things out like they had some sense. And especially if it came to a man, unless he cheated on her or did something like that, she would pretty much either stay away from him or get him back by doing something. But they weren't as quick to jump in a man's face and try to fight and everything like that. But today's woman seems to be less about talking and more about trying to jump bad on somebody. And for me, again, like I said, I am an advocate of not ever having to put my hands on a female. But the way things are now, there were, several videos where there were guys that were trying to retreat, because they didn't want to hit a female. And the female continued to push and push and push and getting in his face and shoving him and things like that. Now, the first shove, she really he still continued to back away because that just wasn't in his character. But these women now will push you outside of your character and force you to defend yourself. They don't want to take no for an answer. And to me, that's unfortunate, because if you continue to push any man, I don't care how nice he is, how respectful he is, if you continue to push a man to that point, then you're asking for it. You just really are. And on World Star, there was another video where there was a guy. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they were in some kind of restaurant or something, some kind of club, I guess. And there were, a line of people, and this one guy got jumped by I don't know how many females, and he just decided he had to fight back. And so that's another situation that's unfortunate, because had they not tried to jump him, I'm pretty sure that he would have never put his hands on her. And that's not to say that some guys don't do things that are deserving of having their heads knocked off, but deserving something and actually following through and doing it, there are two different things. You're not going to get locked up for saying that somebody needed to have their head knocked off, but you will get locked up for actually doing it. And I think that a lot of women's judgment is clouded now, and it's almost like they don't really know how to just stop and think about what they're doing. They're so impulsive, and this is a problem, you know. And I think that somebody really needs, a lot of this comes from the music that they're listening to, the subliminal messages that are basically making them feel like super women, and like it's sending false messages, and it kind of it's kind of like it's dehumanizing them in a way. Um, and I'm just talking about the situations that violence can definitely be avoided. And it's just like the uppercut video where that the girl was running off at the mouth on the bus and decided she wanted to go and put her hands on the bus driver. Now, I don't know how women like her get it twisted in their mind that just because they're females that they're supposed to do this and do that, and because they're female, you're not supposed to defend yourself. If anybody puts their hands on me, and thinks that they're going to step to me like a man, you have to get put in your place. And that goes for anybody. Now, again, under normal circumstances, if there's an issue, no, never put your hands on a female, always talk about it or walk away. But when they come at you, and these females, they won't just hit you once and then go away. They're trying to fight you like they're trying to fight one of their girlfriends. And, that just is something, as a human being, gender aside, you have the right to protect yourself, no matter whether it's a man or female. And that's why I can't work in the school systems now, because now you're having to really defend yourself against younger people, just as if they're adults, and you kind of feel reserved because they're younger and you're the adult. But I'm not letting anybody put me in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I'm a full advocate of not putting my hands on a female, but there just comes a time where you have to defend yourself. Now, when I say defend yourself, I don't mean beat them half to death. I mean do enough to get them off of you and to let them know that they're not going to be able and allowed to just have their way with you. And it's hard because sometimes, especially if it's an ongoing thing, it gets to a point where you try to hold back and you let things get bottled up, and eventually you're going to snap. That's just human nature. But and I think it's a female's duty to not push, know when enough is enough. If you have an issue with somebody, jumping up and cussing and hollering at them, that's not a mature way to handle it. Even if you're upset, mad, there is no reason to take it to a point of getting up in somebody's face and calling them out and making them, calling out their manhood. Because when you call out a guy's manhood, it's never going to turn out pretty. And then the same females that end up pushing the guy to that breaking point then sit around with their lips poked out because they got hit, and how could you do this? You're not ever supposed to hit a woman, blah, blah, blah. Well, did you do anything to prevent it from escalating to that point? Or did you continue to push and push and push just to see how much of a man he was? And I'm pretty sure that anybody who's really truthful with themselves will be able to answer that honestly and then realize what they need to do and, to change the way that their behavior is. Again, I'm not going to carry on too long about this subject. I think I pretty much got my point across. But all I'm saying is, ladies, let's start acting like ladies in all situations, even though it might be tough. And fellas, don't do things to, especially if a female has a red button, don't push it, because I know that a lot of times that's the case. But then there was also this video that I saw where this woman, she was cheating on her boyfriend. He came in and found out that she was cheating on him and sleeping with another guy. And instead of her saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to find out like this, or, we need to talk, or, just something like that to let him know that she at least felt some type of shame about what she did. Instead, she throws him out like he's the intruder. And it's situations like that where a female just doesn't think, okay, this guy could, everybody has human emotions. And had he been like most guys today, she would have probably gotten her head knocked off. So I just brought that up to bring up the fact that not all situations where there's male and female domestic violence are caused just by the man. And that I said that for the females who will probably comment on this video and say, well, if a guy wouldn't do this, it wouldn't push me to this level. And again, in a counter for that, I just say this: unless you are married to a person, anything that they do to you to upset you or anger you, you have the power to get out of that situation. You don't have to stick around and allow yourself to be played or prodded, or pushed to a certain point. So there's no reason for a woman to jump in a man's face or for him to jump in her face. The whole point is, like, everybody just needs to learn how to start loving each other and start respecting each other a lot better than what they've been doing. But it just seems like it's getting worse with every passing couple of years. But yeah, so like I said, don't act like a man if you don't expect. Let me try that again. Do not act like a man if you expect to be treated like a woman. That's just pretty much it. So leave me any comments you have. I'm pretty sure that there will be quite a few that agree or disagree, but that's the beauty of YouTube and being able to share your opinion, and just do so respectfully. All right, because any disrespectful comments will be deleted and blocked. So if you want to get your opinion across, do it with respect, just as I brought this video to you, men and women. All right, so over and out, and I will see y'all in the next video.